Hey guys! Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys all the books that I plan on reading in the month of August. Now, as you could probably tell by the thumbnail, this is a very ambitious TBR, and the thumbnail didn't even show half the books that I plan on reading. And the reason the majority of these books are on here is because I got really excited to read them for the booktubeathon, but I never got to them, so I plan on getting to them this month. So I'm starting off the month by reading a trilogy that I am actually very reluctant to read, which is the reason I'm starting off with it first. And that is Miss Peregrines Over Peculiar Children. Is that what the series, what is this series called even? You know, I don't know what the series is called. We're just going to call it Miss Peregrines Home for Peculiar Children series, trilogy, whatever. But yeah, I'm reading these books finally. I've actually already started the first book, and I am on page 87. I've been mainly listening to the audiobook. Yay! I actually went to the library, got the audiobook, so I'm listening to it. It's actually decent so far, although I had to say I read the prologue without the audiobook because the power was out and there was no way for me to listen to it because CDs, who actually has a portable CD player anymore? I want to find one, but I can't. Off topic. Anyways, yeah, I kind of liked me reading it in my head more than the narrator reading it to me, but it's still really good, and I feel like I'm reading it a lot faster with the narration. I'm actually kind of hoping to read about another 100 pages tonight, which it's now 9 o'clock, and I still have a lot more videos to film, so it's probably not going to happen, but maybe at least another 50 pages. But after I finish Miss Peregrines Home for Peculiar Children, I'm going to move on to Hollow City, and then I'm going to read Library of Souls. Oh, Miss Peregrines Peculiar Children. I guess that's what the series is called. So far, the first book in this series is exceeding my expectations, which I actually had no expectations, which is probably a good thing because then there's no way the books can disappoint me. I would try to summarize the series, but I'm actually going into it completely blind. I know absolutely nothing. The only thing I knew before I went into this book was that there was some very peculiar children, to put it lightly, from the movie trailers I seen, and that the main character's name was Jacob. It's the only thing I knew, and I was leaving it at that. The next trilogy that I plan on picking up is the Red Pyramid trilogy by Rick Riordan, and I actually have the audiobook from the library for the Red Pyramid. I listened to a sample of it on Audible, and it actually kept my attention for the duration of the sampler. And the audiobooks themselves on Audible is only like, they're less than $4 a piece. So if I like the audiobook for the Red Pyramid, I may end up just going ahead and buying the other two on Audible. But really, the only thing I know about this series is it's over Egyptian mythology, and it's by Rick Riordan. It's pretty much enough to get me to read the series. Other than that, the only other thing I know is the fact that the two main characters are brother and sister. So that's interesting. And I don't think there's actually a camp in this series, which is something else that's really odd. That makes me wonder how many Egyptian demigods there actually are. I don't even know how many Egyptian gods there are. I can think of 3 off the top of my head, but I'm not 100% sure. So I am very excited to learn more about Egyptian mythology. But those two series I'm going to try to finish before the 15th, because that's when I have to take back these audiobooks. I also got the audiobook for Carry On by Ray Morrell and Eleanor Park by Ray Morrell, but I don't think I'll be listening to either of them. I've already read Carry On, and I'm just really not feeling Eleanor and Park right now, so, I mean, I think I'm just going to return them and get them maybe at a later date. Moving on, the next 6 books I plan on reading are the Selection Series by Kira Cass. At least I'm pretty sure all this is the Selection Series. These two, yeah, they're part of the Selection Series. I've heard great things about these first 3 books. I've heard they're really fast-paced and good, and everybody just loved them. Happily Ever After is just a collection, I think, of, 4 novellas that I hope I love. I haven't really heard anybody talking about these. And then the last 2 books, The Heir and the Crown, I have not heard many good things about these at all. I've heard they're pretty average, below average kind of books compared to the first 3 books, and that they really didn't like the main character, America's daughter. So we'll see how I feel when I get to these books. Next I have Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. This book has been on my TBR for a couple months now, and I was seriously going to read it at the beginning of this month, but since I just read Lucky in Love, and the plot of that book is about a girl who won the lottery, and the plot of this book is about a girl who bought a lottery ticket for her best friend who won the lottery. It's just like, that's kind of too similar to like read both those back to back. So it's like, I'll put a lot of books in between them and then read it. So still plan on reading this book. It'll probably just be like later on in the month. I also have Armada by Ernest Cline. Still not sure what genre this book belongs in, if it's fantasy, contemporary. Not 100% sure, and truthfully, I don't even want to know before I go into it. I do know the main character of this book is a gamer, and I love playing video games, even though I don't get to play very often. And I think there's something about aliens in this book. I'm not 100% sure. And even though I really want to read Ready Player One more than I want to read this is the one I have, so this is the one I'm gonna read. And the last book on my TBR is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. Every time I say her name, I feel like I'm saying it wrong. The main character of this book, Eliza, has a popular webcomic. And it just so happens that webcomic is so popular that she even has fanfiction writers. And one of her biggest fanfiction writers ends up transferring to her school, and somehow the secret of her being the creator of this webcomic is released, and a bunch of havoc ensues from there. I really cannot wait to see where this story goes, and I also love the fact that this book has quite a few illustrations in it. I love me a book with illustrations. So yeah, that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That is the 15 books that I plan to read this month. I'm gonna do it. If I can finish Miss Peregrines and More Peculiar Children, and then if I can finish the Red Pyramid series by Rick Riordan, I will be ecstatic if I just finish those 6 books. Well, since I have so many books to read, I better get started now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Today I'm going to be sharing with you all the books that I plan on reading in the month of April. No.